The news broke like a thunderclap on a quiet morning. Hulk Hogan, born Terry Jean Bollea, had passed away at the age of 71. For fans of professional wrestling, pop culture enthusiasts, and athletes across disciplines, the loss was staggering. Hulk Hogan wasn't just a larger-than-life figure in the ring. He was the face of an era, the embodiment of wrestling's golden age, a global phenomenon, and a beacon for countless children growing up in the 1980s and 1990s. From the moment his passing was announced, tributes flooded in. Social media transformed into a collective memorial, with hashtags like RIP Hogan and Thank You Hulk trending worldwide. Yet, amid the digital storm of sadness and memory, one voice emerged with a gravity unmatched by others, that of Ric Flair, the Nature Boy. More than a rival, Ric Flair mourns a brother. For Ric Flair, the loss was not merely professional, it was deeply personal. In a heartfelt social media post shared shortly after the news went public, Flair wrote, "I am absolutely shocked to hear about the passing of my close friend Hulk Hogan. Hulk has been by my side since we started in the wrestling business. An incredible athlete, talent, friend, and father. Our friendship has meant the world to me. He was always there for me, even when I didn't ask for him to be." Flair's words offered more than a eulogy. They provided an unfiltered glimpse into decades of camaraderie, brotherhood, and mutual respect. The two titans, often portrayed as arch-rivals in wrestling lore, shared something far deeper behind the curtain. A relationship forged in the crucible of fame, hardship, and survival. Origins of brotherhood. The early days of Hogan and Flair. The bond between Hogan and Flair began in the late 1970s, a time when both men were navigating the rough waters of regional wrestling circuits. Hogan was making waves in Florida and the American Wrestling Association, while Flair was becoming the centerpiece of the National Wrestling Alliance, NWA. Though they started in different territories, the roads they traveled ran parallel, filled with long nights, small-town gyms, aching bodies, and the kind of sacrifice only insiders understand. It wouldn't be long before their stars collided on a national stage. Hogan became the face of the World Wrestling Federation, WWF, now WWE, while Flair remained the heart of the NWA and later WCW. Fans clamored for a dream match, Hogan's all-American heroism versus Flair's flamboyant villainy. It wasn't just fantasy booking, it was a clash of titans, symbols of two competing wrestling philosophies. Persona versus person, rivals in the ring, brothers in life. While their professional personas were crafted as diametrically opposed, the reality was far more nuanced. Flair and Hogan respected each other's talents immensely. Hogan admired Flair's in-ring storytelling and mic skills. Flair, in turn, acknowledged Hogan's unmatched charisma and ability to connect with a crowd. More than anything, they bonded over shared struggles, grueling schedules, physical pain, and the ever-present pressure to stay on top. They leaned on each other in private, away from the spotlight. Behind the flamboyant robes and bandanas were two men who understood the cost of immortality. Lifelines in times of crisis, Hogan's support for Flair. Flair's tribute revealed the depths of that bond. He recounted moments that few fans knew about, moments that transcended the squared circle. One such instance was in 2017, when Ric Flair was placed in a medically induced coma with just a 2% chance of survival. As his family feared the worst, it was Hulk Hogan who quietly flew in to be by his side. "He was one of the first to visit me," Flair wrote. "He prayed by my bedside. He didn't leave until he knew I was going to make it." In another devastating chapter, Hogan supported Flair through the tragic death of his son, Reed, in 2013. There were no press releases or public photo ops. Hogan reached out quietly, even lending Flair money to cover mounting medical costs. "He didn't do it for show," Flair once said. "He did it because he was my brother." Beyond the ring, memories, laughter, and the long road. Their friendship was filled with laughter, too. Road trips across America, nights spent in locker rooms sharing war stories, long flights debating music and wrestling angles. Those moments defined their relationship as much as their matches did. Flair recalled touring with Hogan during the 1990s and early 2000s, sharing stories over classic rock playlists and comparing notes about fatherhood. Hogan often referred to Flair as the man, a moniker that fans would later turn into a meme, but for them, it held deep, mutual admiration. Legends collide, from dream match to reality. When Hogan and Flair finally faced off in the WWF during the early 90s, it felt like the culmination of years of fantasy. Their matches weren't just athletic contests, they were spectacles, mythological in their storytelling. While their initial matches were limited in the WWF, the dream lived on in WCW, especially during the New World Order (NWO) era. In WCW, Hogan and Flair had the freedom to redefine their legacies. Hogan's turn to Hollywood Hogan in 1996, and the formation of the NWO changed the industry. Flair, often positioned as his primary foil, delivered some of his best promo work and storytelling during this period. Their rivalry brought WCW to its peak, dominating ratings and ushering in a new golden age. Behind the scenes, they protected each other. They consulted on promos, match finishes, and character arcs. Ego never stood in the way of the story they wanted to tell, a story of icons, resilience, and mutual respect. The dark side of fame, Hogan's personal struggles. As wrestling evolved, so too did the lives of its stars. Hogan's later years were marked by physical decline, public scandal, and redemption. Decades of leg drops and body slams took a toll. Hogan underwent over 25 surgeries, spinal fusions, hip replacements, and knee operations. His reality show, Hogan Knows Best, gave fans a glimpse into his personal life, but also exposed underlying turmoil. A messy divorce, his son's tragic car accident, and the infamous leaked tape controversy in 2015 all contributed to one of the darkest periods in his life. WWE severed ties, sponsors withdrew, and his once pristine image was tarnished. Yet, through public apologies and private reconciliations, Hogan began to mend bridges. He was reinstated into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2018 and slowly reintroduced to fans. Flair stood by him. A legacy reaffirmed. Hogan's final years. In his final years, Hulk Hogan found a sense of peace that had long eluded him. In 2023, he married Sky Daly, marking a new chapter in his life. With a renewed focus on health and reflection, he launched a wellness store, using his platform to promote balance and healing, both physical and emotional. More than just a businessman, Hogan became a mentor to younger wrestlers, eager to pass on the hard-earned lessons of a turbulent but iconic career. Though his physical strength had diminished, his presence remained magnetic. He continued making appearances at fan conventions, often needing help to walk, yet always arriving with his trademark grin. Fans, young and old, lined up to meet the legend, and Hogan never failed to make them feel seen. His final WWE appearance at WrestleMania 40 was a powerful, emotional farewell. As his music hit and the crowd erupted, the arena became a sea of nostalgia and admiration. Hogan, visibly moved, stood before the fans one last time and said, "I'm not perfect, but I gave you everything I had." That single line captured the true spirit of Hulk Hogan. He was a man of contradictions, larger than life yet vulnerable, celebrated yet scarred. Through triumphs and controversies, he remained a symbol of resilience. He gave his heart, body, and soul to professional wrestling, an industry that shaped him and, at times, nearly broke him. In the end, Hogan's legacy wasn't defined by championships or headlines, but by his unwavering commitment to his fans and the world he helped build. He was, above all, a showman who never stopped giving and never stopped believing in the power of the fight. The voice that echoes, Ric Flair's last goodbye. As the wrestling world continues to reel from the devastating loss, Ric Flair has offered what is widely seen as the most heartfelt tribute. Choosing to grieve in private, Flair has reportedly canceled all public appearances, retreating to his home in Charlotte to mourn in solitude. Despite his silence during this difficult time, Flair is expected to break it at the upcoming WWE-hosted memorial for Hulk Hogan, where he will speak publicly for the first time since the tragedy. In a message shared through his representative, Flair revealed a deeply personal side of their friendship. I want people to know the real Hulk, the man who held my hand when I was dying, the man who checked in on my kids, the man who loved his fans more than he loved himself. Flair's words strip away the larger-than-life persona to reveal the human being behind the legend. Hogan was more than a wrestling icon. He was a friend, a protector, and a man of deep loyalty and compassion. By sharing this intimate glimpse into their bond, Flair transforms Hulk Hogan from a mythic figure into someone far more real and enduring. In doing so, he ensures that Hogan's legacy won't just live on through championship belts, catchphrases, or sold-out arenas, but through the lives he touched and the hearts he helped heal. For Flair and so many others, Hulk Hogan wasn't just the face of an era. He was a constant presence, a genuine friend, and a symbol of strength both inside and outside the ring. As the memorial approaches, fans and fellow wrestlers alike will remember Hogan not just as the legend he was, but as the man Ric Flair knew and loved. The immortal lives. On Hulk Hogan was more than a wrestling icon. He was a cultural force. From the red and yellow days of Hulkamania to the rebellious edge of Hollywood Hogan, he defined eras and captivated millions. But behind the larger-than-life persona stood Terry Bollea, a man who faced pain, controversy, and personal setbacks with resilience. He stood tall, not just in stature, but in spirit. As news of his passing spread, tributes poured in, but none struck deeper than Ric Flair's. Known as the Nature Boy, Flair shared not just a ring with Hogan, but a brotherhood forged over decades of blood, sweat, and respect. "I lost a friend, a brother, a warrior," Flair said. "There'll never be another Hulk Hogan. I loved you, man. I always will." Their rivalry thrilled generations, but their bond ran far deeper than titles or promos. Hogan's presence transcended wrestling. He was hope to the underdog, strength to the weak, and charisma incarnate. Children mimicked his poses, fans chanted his name, and wrestlers aspired to his stature. He made arenas shake with electricity and left crowds forever changed. Flair's words are a solemn reminder that when the lights dim and the roars quiet, what endures isn't the spectacle, it's the legacy, the laughter backstage, the hard-earned respect, the unbreakable friendships. Hogan may no longer walk among us, but his influence will forever echo in every arena. Every brother shouted in tribute, and every heartfelt "woo" that breaks the silence. The immortal has left the ring, but his legend, bright, bold, and unforgettable, will never fade.